Welcome to Plan VTV, the show about Vermont independence. I'm Rob Williams, the publisher of VermontIndependent.net, where every citizen is an entrepreneur and every entrepreneur a citizen. With us today in the MRVTV studio, we have a special guest. Keith Berkelhamer is here. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And this was a long hike for me from my desk.
I know. You had to walk a good, 10 feet?
There you go. That was one hell of a commute.
I'm exhausted. So you and I try and do this once a year. About this time, we kind of like to give full disclosure. I am on the board of directors of MRVTV in addition to doing the show. And it's nice to sort of do a once a year update, how things are going here at the station and kind of what's coming up. So thank you for taking time out from your desk.
My pleasure.
To do this, yeah. Where do we begin? Maybe we start with the mission of MRVTV. I like to affectionately refer to the work we do as TV by the people.
For the people.
For the people. Because we are a community cable television outfit. We are not for profit. Right, we're not in the business.
Right, we're a nonprofit. Yeah, I mean, our mission is to provide the public access to the TV airways. Right, we're a community-based organization, and so one of the things we do is we allow folks to come into the studio here and have a TV show if they want to, and it could be a show about anything they want it to be on. So that's one thing, and another thing is they can come and have the opportunity to take our equipment, our cameras out into the community for free training. They could even get trained on editing for free. So these are services that we provide, and people can go out and do anything they want to do, pass along the information, share stories. The other thing we do, another very important thing, is we cover municipal and local government meetings. Right. So we provide visibility and transparency to that process. So it's a permanent source of public record, which is a very important thing to have, here in this community.
Yeah, in fact, our Secretary of State in Montpelier, Jim Condos, just wrote a really beautiful editorial about the importance of community cable television here in Vermont as a public record and archive for all of the work that our elected officials are doing, select boards, zoning boards, school boards, et cetera. And of course we cover sports and we cover the arts and we cover, so there's, we really are a reflection of this community.
Right, so we feel like we're a valuable resource for the community members, and we are a nonprofit, but we do have to pay the bills.
Yes, let's talk about that. How are the efforts here at MRVTV funded?
We are primarily funded through folks that subscribe to Waitsfield Cable. So a small percentage of their monthly cable bill gets passed along from Waitsfield Cable to us. And that's throughout Vermont and the United States in terms of public access television. That's the way it's done. But there have been some challenges over the last few years in terms of that source of funding. People are what we say are cutting the cord. So they're watching TV program via other means, YouTube, on their tablets, websites, on their phones.
Right.
And when you have fewer cable subscribers, that means our main source of funding is going down. So that's something that is a very important issue in the public access TV world. And we have to really think about how we can try to raise additional funds to fill that gap.
Yeah, well said. So there's this kind of massive digital migration underway, right, over to the internet and digital platforms, and our so-called cable cutting, right, away from what we call the legacy media outlets, right? It has implications for us here at the station. How do we keep ourselves moving forward?
Right. So we've had to think outside of the box in terms of trying to do some additional fundraising. Yeah. So besides having normal fundraising events, which we have usually an big annual fundraising event every year. Last year we did also a pop-up fundraising event, which Phineas Gage performed at. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was last summer, right out here on our grassy field.
Grassy field, and we're hoping to have
our grassy green.
The plan is to have 2 more of those this summer, and potentially have some folks from the Village Square that sell food participate as well.
Yeah,
so,
we have a young woman coming in, quite a talented young musician to perform, and I think allegedly Phineas Gage may be back as well. I think that's the plan. Yeah, that was really fun last summer to do that.
So yeah, we'll do the main fundraising event. We're still trying to figure out where that's going to be. It's going to be in November.
Right.
We'll have the pop-up events. We'll also be at the farmers market one weekend. We'll also have a benefit bake at American Flatbread.
Nice.
On in the third Friday in May, I believe it is.
That's a great time.
So fundraising is certainly a big part in terms of what we do here to try to raise additional funds. But we have to also think outside of that traditional box. And a couple of years ago, we started to offer underwriting to local businesses here to support Mad River Valley Television. So we have that both on television and online. So businesses can be a local sponsor and sponsor content on YouTube primarily for digital, and on channels 44, 244, 45, and 245 on Waitsfield Cable.
Nice.
But the other thing that we've had to do is launch some other services. So we launched a live streaming service a couple of years ago, and so we can go and for a fee, to live stream. We could live stream events or programs to an organization's Facebook page or YouTube channel. And one of probably the most high profile one we did to date was the 2 of them. Last year we did a program for Mad River Glen Today, which is a very, very popular program.
Yeah, it took off.
With Eric Friedman and so we had over 40,000 views for that program. And this year the sequel is Mad River Valley Live. So that's a collaboration between Sugarbush Resort, Mad River Glen, the Chamber of Commerce, and ourselves. So that's been a lot of fun. But that is a form of fundraising for us because we charge a fee for the live streaming services.
Right.
So
and people can watch that show in a number of places, right?
Right. So not only live on Facebook or YouTube, but we also have it on MRVTV.com as well as channels 44 and 244, and we also syndicate it out to the Vermont Media Exchange, which is so there are 25 public access TV centers in the state of Vermont. More
per capita than any other state.
That is correct.
By the way.
And so what you can do is you can make those programs available to the other stations, so there can be potential statewide distribution.
Right. And your observation illustrates kind of the shift that we're talking about, right? You can watch this Mad River
Valley Live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Valley Live show on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website itself, mrvtv.com. And it's nice to have that plethora of options for watching digitally, and we also have to figure out ways to support and fund those efforts. And the live streaming service that we offer here is one of many ways.
And we also do live streaming for free in terms of some local events. So we'll do the Waitsfield Town Meeting Day coming up.
Yeah.
Or actually,
Tuesday.
That's in the past, I guess.
We just did that.
Yeah.
That's right. Thinking ahead.
Right. I was jumping ahead to 2021. But 4th of July parade, Warren 4th of July parade. We'll live stream that every year. So.
And isn't it true that our Waitsfield covered bridge live stream is like incredibly popular?
Yeah, so that's another form of fundraising for us. That's a sponsorable webcam, and yes, the past year we probably had 1.2 million views on that live webcam. It's astounding.
How do you explain that? How do you explain 1.2?
It's a great shot. It's an iconic shot of the covered bridge in Vermont, and listen, I mean that's a good point, Rob. In that I think we are number one a resource for the community, but we're also bringing visibility to this community outside of the state of Vermont. 98% of those people that are watching that live webcam are from outside of the state of Vermont.
That's so interesting.
40% are international viewers.
Wow. So people just drop onto our YouTube covered bridge cam at all times of the day or night, and just look at the river, and they look at the bridge, and they look at the sky, and they're like, oh, there's Vermont. It's so intriguing.
It's a great shot.
I will confess that when I'm traveling, I will sometimes, I get a little homesick or whatever. I just like drop on the YouTube page for a few minutes, like, oh.
Yeah, me too.
It's strangely powerful. Strangely powerful. Yeah. So here we are in 2020, and there's a lot of sort of really interesting digital churn going on in the world of digital media. How else do you imagine positioning MRVTV, MRVTV.com, by the way, for success in this new emerging landscape?
So one of the issues, Rob, that we have to deal with is that, so people that subscribe to Waitsfield Cable can see us on TV.
Right.
But we also get a lot of viewership on MRVTV.com. We had over 8,000 views for school board meetings and select board meetings in 2019 alone for that programming. But that content is available for free on the website. So what we're hoping is to have folks that are watching us online be able to contribute to help us continue providing that content 100% free on the website. So we've actually started what we're calling our 2020 pledge drive. And this will be an effort in terms of, we'll at our fundraising events, we'll be selling raffle tickets, and online people will have an opportunity to purchase raffle tickets to help support the station. And we're raffling off a beautiful 50-inch 4K smart TV.
First time.
Yes.
We've done that, right?
We've been doing GoPro raffles, but now we're going to be doing it seemed appropriate to raffle off a TV. It's a smart TV, so if you have internet access, not Waitsfield Cable, you can still watch programming on the smart TV and watch MRVTV programming on the smart TV. But, and for more information, people can visit mrvtv.com/donate if they're interested in supporting us in this endeavor.
mrvtv.com/donate. And I think our hope is, I'll put my board member hat on for a minute. I think our hope is to move to a more sustained, I don't know what we want to call it, a subscription model or some sort of way we can engender more regular support from not just our underwriters now, of which there are more and more, which is nice, but I think viewers who recognize the value of having these select board meetings, school board meetings, stories being told by community members at play here on the station.
Yeah, no, it's very important for us to try to figure that out. And I think, we've talked about a paywall subscription model, but we're not there yet in terms of that. So we would love for folks that use the website a lot to help support us. And to help us continue to provide that content for free. And hey, support pledge $10 and you get a raffle ticket for a 50-inch smart TV. We think that's a pretty nice incentive, and we hope people will engage with us on that. But listen, it is not just an issue in terms of the funding gap that's specific to MRVTV. It's across the state in the United States. And Vermont, the state of Vermont actually had a public access TV study group this past summer that kind of dove into the main issues that are impacting the funding for public access television stations. So as a direct result of that committee in the summertime, there's a bill being proposed to look at these issues and to fund a series of experts to try to figure out ways that we can close that funding gap. So there is hope in the state legislature that a solution could be found. And other states are looking at this very hard as well. In Massachusetts, there's I believe a bill that might be proposing an entertainment tax or a streaming tax. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that's the crux of the issue, is that you can't tax the internet. And so we need to kind of figure that out. And maybe it's an entertainment tax. I don't know. But hopefully we can get some help from the state and the federal level. But also on the federal level, there was an FCC rule change that potentially could impact funding to PEG, public education government TV channels in the United States. And with that rule change, there was essentially language that could allow cable companies to charge back for in-kind services. So let's say a public access TV station received a cable subscription for free, from the cable company. Then in theory, now with this FCC rule change, that money can get charged back to the TV station.
Wow.
So there's probably not going to be a lot of chargebacks going on right away. I think a lot of folks are kind of looking at it, and it might be going into appeals. I think it is being appealed. So
I hope so.
The big issue is really the cable cord cutting. That is the main thing that is happening, and really needs to be looked at in terms of how to make up that gap.
Right, and historically, for folks who don't know, the Federal Communications Commission is in charge of regulating the relationship between the wires, such as they are, in this case, the cable wires, and who gets access to and gets to put content through those wires. And for a long time now, it's been a nice relationship between cable companies and local community cable TV providers, because the FCC said, look, to the cable companies, look, in exchange for using these publicly owned airwaves or wires, you have to set aside a certain amount of bandwidth for the PEG, political, educational, governmental channels locally. And Vermont has taken full advantage of that contractual and legal relationship to offer some incredible programming. By the way, isn't MRVTV like #1? What are we #1 at?
Yeah, we have a great social presence.
Yes.
So we have, we have over 7,500 Facebook fans and over 5,500 YouTube subscribers.
Right.
And that is tops among all community access television stations in the state of Vermont. So we're really feel that's important to have a big presence on social media. It's driving viewership onto the website. Our video views on the website are up over 80% in 2019 versus 2018, and a lot of the people that are getting to the website are coming from social media. They're coming directly from Facebook and from YouTube.
So we have the big data, such as to sort of support this kind of shift that we're talking about, right? And I think it's only going to grow, the movement over to digital. We also were farsighted enough, and again, I credit you and Tony for this, with making the shift to HighDef, right? Can you just say a word about that?
So geez, it was maybe about 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
It was about 2 years ago. We upgraded to high definition television, and I want to thank Waitsfield Cable. They've been incredible partners, and they basically helped us make it happen. And a shout out to those guys. It was not an easy task. There's probably less than 10% of the public access TV stations in the United States have high definition. So we're one of those rare few that have it, and it's been great. I mean, I think in terms of the picture quality, we've had a major uptick in terms of people that want to contribute content. Right. We have a quality product now, and I think it shows, and people see it, and they want to come in and do a show or take a camera out. So it's certainly helped our mission. Yeah,
and maybe that's a good place to end, because we have never seen, at least in my many years of being involved with the TV station, we've never seen as many shows as we have now. I mean, can you just talk a bit about that? We have this show, of course, but we have a lot of other shows coming online. What kinds of stuff's going on? In addition to the select board and the school board, but people coming in to do their own shows.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a regular Yoga for You show. There's a show called The Men with Anna Nassett that is done. That's a regular show. We have the Chamber of Commerce that contributes a lot of content, and they do a lot of shows. And I mean, I'm sure I'm missing some. And,
there's a new theater show. I think Doug
Theater Time with Doug
Right?
Bergstein. Yep. So we have a number of local producers that contribute content.
It's incredibly exciting,
and it's awesome. I think Tony is very pleased to have the studio buzzing and filled up. And
yay, Tony!
I hear you.
And we want to continue to that role and have people contribute content. So we're at a good place right now. We just would like to get a little support from the folks that are watching us online and help us in terms of closing that funding gap.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Vermont Independent, our show has been a proud underwriter for several years now, I think, and as have a lot of other partners in the community. And I hope, as I know you do, that we can move more aggressively to some sort of regular, sustained, whatever we're going to call it, subscription model or what have you. But the first step is to visit mrvtv.com/donate. Consider jumping into the fray with the Smart TV raffle and make a donation if you feel so inclined. Come in and get trained, use the equipment, have your own show, suggest ideas, get your friends to do the same. I'd love to see a more aggressive relationship between the station and maybe Harwood. Some of the students there I know are very interested in video production, and we have some older folks in the community coming in and doing shows now, and it's very exciting. It's an exciting time.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. We're Tony Italiano and myself are really think we're a great team, and we're excited about what's going on here at the station, and I want to thank you and the MRVTV Board of Directors for the support. Yeah. And we'd just like to continue on our role.
Yeah, well, and so we shall. Yeah, and I'll say in closing that I think you and Tony are a fantastic team. And Tony's the one behind the scenes, but all of the content on MRVTV that everyone sees out there is really thanks to his hard work and hustle, and he's doing a lot more. He's much busier now than he used to be. So thank you, Tony, for that, and thank you, Keith, for your leadership. And on we go. And one more time, mrvtv.com for all of your information about the exciting stuff going on here at the station. Well, good luck.
Thank you, Rob.
To us all. You've been listening to Plan VTV is what you've been listening to. The show about Vermont independence, vermontindependent.net. I'm Rob Williams, the publisher, where every citizen is an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur is a citizen. Please visit mrvtv.com. Consider a donation. Consider maybe putting together your own show. We're always open to your ideas and suggestions, and please spread the word about TV of, by, and for the people. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, V for Vermont.